Hey, this is lesson 4 of, we're in Unit 8, Foundations in Pre-Cal 10, and I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to do this as the super quick video. I'm just going to sort of scream through it and not do all the examples. Just talk about what strategies you would use and post it. And then I will do a longer video if you want to see all the examples worked through. Let's see how that goes. Okay, but for both versions, we have looked at two forms of the equation for a straight line. So we have the slope-intercept form, which looks like y equals mx plus b. And we have the point-slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And those are used in different situations, but those are both really easy to graph from. There's another version of the line of the equation, which we call the general form, which is ax plus bx plus c equals 0. And it's not a useful form of the line of the equation, but it looks pretty, I guess. These are a, b, and c are integers. I don't know why it says if possible, because it's always possible. And a is positive. Like that's the definition, is that a is a positive value and they're all integers. And this lets us do any lines. Oh, horizontal and vertical lines, which you can't technically do in slope-intercept form, I guess, because it doesn't always have a slope and an intercept. If it's, let me see, if it's horizontal, yeah, if it's horizontal, it's got both. But if it's vertical, it doesn't have a slope and it doesn't have a y-intercept rather. So like technically you can't do that one in slope-intercept form, but we just sort of, it's still just x equals something. So that's usually what the equation is. Anyway, this says that some texts call this standard form. I'm not sure that's correct because there's another form which is ax plus by equals c. And most books call, I think that one's either the general or the standard. And I don't remember because those are silly names and I don't have a memory hook for them is basically what that comes down to. So I'm not going to worry about that. We're not using this form. We're just using this one. Call it general, call it standard. I don't care. I'm going to call it general because that's what your workbook calls it. Okay, this one says to convert these equations from slope-intercept form to general form, we're just going to use our algebra skills. Let's do this example here. This is going to be y plus 2. I want to get rid of this fraction, so the best way for me to do that is to multiply this whole side by 2, which means I have to multiply this side by 2. And then these 2's cancel out because this 2's in the denominator. So shouldn't have written what I wrote here. This is actually going to be 2y plus 4 equals 1 times, oh, I don't need the bracket anymore either, it's x minus 3. And then I'm just going to use my algebra. I'm going to go minus 2y minus 4 minus 2y minus 4. Those cancel out. Be really careful when you cancel these things out that you put a 0 in there because that's what's there, right? So this now equals x minus 2y, and then minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7. So there is our general form. And so the a is 1, the b is negative 2, and c is negative 7. Okay, so that's just straight up algebra. I'm not going to bother with b and c for now. This is the kind of question that you are going to be asked, and you have to do some thinking here. They are asked for the equation. They want the equation in general form, but that's just going to be your final answer. You're not ever going to just plug it into general form because these pieces don't exist as they are in the general form. So, but what do we have? We have slope, so we have m, so we can use either of our other two shapes, and then we have a point. So there's actually two ways that we can solve this, and I'm going to show you both ways because it's worth seeing both ways. So I've got, if I use my point slope form, I have y equals, oops, sorry. y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I've got y minus, so this is my x1 and my y1, so it's y minus negative 1 equals negative 3 over 7 times x minus 2. So I have y plus 1 equals negative 3 over 7 times x minus 2. Now it might help you to see that written as negative 3 times x minus 2 over 7 equals y plus 1. Because now it's a little easier to see that I'm going to multiply this side by, oh, I want to do that in a different color. I'm going to multiply this by 7. So those 7's cancel, and then I'm going to multiply, that's not supposed to be there, by 7 as well. Okay, so now I'm just, again, that's just going to be algebra. I'm not going to bother finishing that. The other way I can do this, I can use my slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And remember that this equation is going to work for any xy pair that works for the equation. So I'm just going to use those for my xy pair and solve for b. So I'm going to have my y is negative 1 and my slope is negative 3 over 7. My x is 2 plus b. So I'm going to solve for b. So I've got negative 1 equals negative 6 over 7 plus b. I need to add 6 over 7 to both sides. That cancels. So I've got minus 1 plus 6 over 7. That's going to be minus 1 over 7 equals b. So my equation in slope-intercept form is going to be y equals negative 3 over 7x minus 1 over 7. And if I continue on with my algebra there, I'm going to, with either method, I'm going to end up with 3x plus 7y minus 1 equals 0. Okay, next page. Finding the slope and intercept from something that's in standard form. I just have to use my algebra to change it into slope-intercept form, which means I want to isolate the y. So in this one, since y is negative, I'm going to add 5y to both sides. And then I'm going to switch sides so that I've got my 5y over here, and that equals 2x plus 25, because I didn't subtract anything here, I just switched sides, okay? But now I have to divide this by 5 and divide that by 5 and divide that by 5. Those cancel out and I get y equals 2 over 5x plus 5. There you go. The answer on this side, if you work through it, is y equals minus 2x plus 15 over 2. All right, go do your, oh, hang on, let's write this up. This says solve for y. Okay, there's the lesson. Bye. Come back for part B.